Chicago weed. The finest Chicago weed imaginable. Only $75 for the best Southside Chicago weed you could ever find. You see, when I moved up here in 2000, May Day of 2000, you know, the holiday where you dance around the pole and pretend you're a communist. I moved up here and I had no clue what I was really getting into when it came to the wonderful loveliness of marijuana. You see, I'm from Chicago. And for 35 years, I smoked shit that looked like this. Now, I don't know if there's any Midwesterners in the house, or Chicagoans, or Indianans, or Michiganites, or even New Yorkers, and sometimes if you're not rich. But this is the shit we smoked. You see, the first time I ever got stoned, I'm 40 years old right now, and I look good. You must be on that weed! Black don't crack. And, first time I got stoned, if anyone is from Chicago or has been to Chicago or lived there, I grew up in Hyde Park, and that is an area that was all wonderfully interracially mixed, and love and peace and kindness and lots of this kind of weed. And I remember getting stoned on the rocks on the pier, looking over Lake Michigan, heading towards the Sears Tower and that lovely kind of man-made atmosphere that you get that you can only so love in the Chicagoland area. And I thought, you just can't get any better than this. Good friends, great weed. I'm a chick and it's free. Who wants to buy this bag of weed? Top quality Chicago weed. Only $50 for this bag of high quality Chicago weed. Only $50. 20 bucks off. You see, when I came up here again May Day of 2000. I came up here with a monster bag, big monster bag of all my clothes, moved into an apartment I had never seen, with a big monster bag of weed. You see, in 2000, it was actually dangerous to carry weed because this was before 9/11, I was still the mark. You see, remember those days when black people were the mark? I don't miss those days. You turban guys, you get it once in a while. So I did the sneaky thing where I put it way underneath bags and clothes and this big monster duffel bag of stuff. And I get off, and my friend Sam Shaw, who's an improviser here in town, he was one who found me this horrible 450 square foot place for $13.50 because it was the year 2000, and that was the only place that was open. And I remember going, and I'm so happy, gave him a hug, got the rental car, put my shit in the back, got up to the place where I was living on Hayes. I was like, you're my best friend. I got the best thing for you. I brought it from Chicago. I pull out the bag, and this man, who is the biggest stoner I have ever known in my lifetime, looked at this bag and said, I quote, I wouldn't smoke that shit if it was the last thing on earth. Who would like to buy this bag of weed? Only $10 for a half a bag of weed. It's from Chicago. I didn't realize what weed was in San Francisco at all until he showed me real weed. It's like, I'm not a big drug user. My theory is if you have to snort it, if you got to shoot it, you got to plan a day in advance for it, ain't worth doing. But this shit and wine are the two things I've noticed in this town that are like incredible. I'm real sideways when it comes to my wine. And it is a drug, people. because wine's more dangerous than this. But still, nice wine, nice Shiraz, nice swirl, see what the texture is, put your nose in it. Oh, that's good, that's just perfect. Drink that same with good weed. I worked at Mendocino Health Club. I did their postcards, people. I don't know if you've seen them around, but they're really kind of Bob Dobbs cool. Yeah, it's like a guy like this. Yeah, and it says medicinal marijuana, hey, it's better than ACD. Well, anyway, it is. So, but the way people look at their marijuana in this town, they put it under a light to see if there's purple in it. You know, and the squishy, and if there's enough crystals, and the texture, and where it came from, and how it's grown, and exactly if it's right to pick, and exactly where it was, and what soil, and what it is. It is like wine. Weed is like wine here. So when I had my first experience with some incredible bud in this town, I still have this bag of weed. And I had been denied 35 years of smoking skank shit. 35 years of thinking I was getting a bargain with this much weed at $75 when I realized I wasted a shitload of fucking money. And now I'm fucking pissed. Free weed! Who wants a motherfucking free weed? I'm giving this motherfucking shit away! Denied! So fucking denied! Free fucking weed! In 2002, I did the Chicago Improv Festival. I did my one-woman show Flake there, and I was still pretty fucking pissy about the bag that I still had. I could not give it to anyone. Crackheads in the line wouldn't take this fucking bag away. Oh man, I'm chosen once me. I'm not gonna smoke that motherfucking shit. I'd rather smoke this fucking dirt than that fucking weed. I was so fucking pissed. I took this back to Chicago. It's 2002. The weed is 2 years old. It had been sitting in my drawer for 2 fucking years. I take it to Improv Olympic Chicago. And I take it up to who I said, I got a bag of weed. And the woman who was clueless and from Chicago, who has never been to California, says, that's great looking weed. I say, why yes, it's the finest Chicago weed you can find. I'll only sell it to you for $75. The bitch bought this weed for $75. 2-year-old skank dry weed for $75. I made my profit back 2 years later. So now I'm on a mission, everybody. I'm on a mission to send Mendocino to the Midwest. My goal in life is to tell the people of Chicago and of Detroit and of Minneapolis that there's better weed than what you've been smoking. There's better stuff than the brown you're so used to. Go down on brown, get good with green. Don't smoke this weed anymore, people. Don't buy it. I'm Shaun Landry, thank you.
Yeah.